All right, it's 4 a.m. and 6 shots of espresso are just starting to hit. My eyes are absolutely glued to the screen. But I'm not just watching the price. No, I'm watching the flow of capital and a massive shift in power that's happening right now. Okay, let's get straight into this because this is a critical one.
So the market is pumping. Over $150 billion has just flooded back into crypto in the last 24 hours. And yeah, on the surface, it looks like a recovery is underway.
I'm not buying it. Not for a second. This feels like a totally artificial calm crash, a deceptive little recovery right before the main event. A huge storm is brewing, and it's being driven by two incredibly powerful and conflicting forces. So first up, we have a seismic regulatory shockwave coming out of the US government. And I'm telling you, this isn't about retail finally getting in or some new ETF filing. This is way bigger. This is about the government literally drawing a line in the sand and creating a brand new crypto hierarchy.
This, right here, is the real headline from the last 18 hours. The CFTC, that's a major U.S. regulator, has just given its blessing for Bitcoin, Ethereum, and USDC to be used in regulated leverage trading for the big guys, for the institutions. This is an absolute game changer.
And this is where it gets really interesting because it creates this clear division. You've got the approved insiders, which for big money are now the preferred government-sanctioned assets for derivatives. And then you've got the stranded outsiders like XRP and Solana. They're now in a much riskier spot, basically cut off from this huge pool of regulated institutional capital. The government is picking winners and losers right now in real time.
And you can see the market reacting instantly. I mean, the data is just stark. Look at that difference. Ether, one of the chosen ones, is soaring over 6%. Meanwhile, XRP, left out in the cold, is barely moving at all. This isn't some prediction. This is capital flowing in real time based on what the government just did. The market isn't just listening, it's acting, and it's acting fast.
Okay, so let's move on to the second force at play, because this is where it gets even crazier. This one is way more immediate, and it affects, well, the entire global financial system, the Federal Reserve's interest rate decision.
Tomorrow is the day. This is the main event. The entire market is holding its breath for this FOMC announcement. Now, sure, a 25 basis point rate cut is pretty much already priced in, but trust me, that's not what's going to cause the fireworks.
So here's what it all comes down to. Jerome Powell's tone. Are we going to get a hawkish cut? Where, yeah, they cut rates, but they talk tough and signal they're still worried about inflation? Or is it going to be a dovish cut with all this optimistic language that signals more cuts are on the way? That difference is everything. It will determine whether the Fed is holding a gun to the market's head or the keys to a moon mission.
And here's what the pros are going to be dissecting word for word. How does he talk about that sticky services inflation? What's his take on government spending? And maybe most important of all, does the dot plot? That's the Fed's own forecast for future rates. Does that change for 2026? These are the little signals that are going to tell us everything we need to know.
So when you combine these two massive forces, you've got a regulator creating a crypto caste system and a central bank sitting on a knife's edge, what you get is a market that is just being completely torn apart.
And the first place we see this division is right here in Bitcoin dominance, sitting at 58.5%. Just think of this as the market's safety gauge. If Powell sounds hawkish tomorrow and this number starts shooting up, it's a crystal clear signal. Investors are dumping their riskier altcoins and running for the relative safety of Bitcoin. And yet, look at this. The sentiment, the fear and greed index is flashing at 26. We are deep in fear territory. So despite that $150 billion pump, the underlying emotion in the market right now is just pure anxiety.
But, here's the contrarian take, right? When the market is this fearful, but prices are actually holding steady or even climbing a little, it can be a sign that the worst is already over. It suggests all the weak hands have sold, and it could be a prime buying opportunity for anyone willing to go against the crowd.
And this just captures the sheer chaos perfectly. On one end, you have the stranded assets like XRP, totally dead in the water. In the middle, you got the government-approved majors like ETH, and strong performers like Cardano doing pretty well. And then you have the absolute degen casino over here, where these little low-cap coins like Knight and Pippin are exploding 90 to 100% in a single day. It's a market of extreme fear and wild speculation, all happening at the exact same time.
Okay,
So with all that going on, what are the key signals you actually need to watch over the next 24 to 48 hours? Let's break down the briefing.
These are the 3 dashboards you need to have open. Number 1, the tone of Powell's speech. Is he hawkish or dovish? Number 2, watch Bitcoin dominance like a hawk for any signs of a flight to safety. And number 3, keep a close eye on Solana's liquidity. As one of those stranded assets, its health is a huge indicator of risk appetite in the rest of the altcoin market.
And here are a couple of ways this could play out. And of course, this is not financial advice, just how I'm thinking about it. If Bitcoin smashes through its key resistance at 94K after the announcement, that could signal a major leg up. But if Powell's tone is hawkish and Bitcoin drops to its 90K support, that weakness could be a massive buying opportunity for ETH, which frankly has a much stronger narrative right now.
So look, we're standing at a crossroads. The Federal Reserve is about to decide the fate of this entire $3 trillion market. Volatility is an absolute guarantee. So the most important thing you can do is stay analytical. Don't trade the emotion, trade the data. Because if you don't, you are going to get swept away. I'll see you back here at 4 a.m. tomorrow. Don't sleep.